Good afternoon, everyone. You're now watching WLBT's Ask the Experts. I'm Kelly Boyd. Here today is Realtor Lee Garland of ReMax Alliance. Hello, how you doing today?
Hey, Kelly. I'm great. How are you?
Doing wonderful.
Good.
So we have a lot of questions that came in to the Ask the Experts page on WLBT.com. But Lee's here to answer your buying and selling home questions while we're live today.
All right. Let's do this.
Okay. Eva asks, most of us potential first-time home buyers have a substantial amount of student loan debt. Is there hope in today's market for home buying with over $60,000 to $150,000 in student loan debt?
Wow, that's a scary question to me because I've got two boys that just started college.
Oh, yeah.
$60,000 to $150,000 in student loan debt. The answer to your question is it's going to depend on your debt to income ratios. Typically, you can get a mortgage as long as your debt does not exceed 40 to 50% of your income. So that student loan debt will count against you.
Mm-hmm.
But if your debt to income ratios are low enough, then you'll still be able to get a loan. Also on student loans, you may be able to, if your loan is in a deferment stage where you're not having to pay it back currently, that could help your ability to qualify for a higher mortgage or a larger mortgage. However, that's going to be an individual case-by-case basis, and I would talk to a mortgage company about that.
Okay, so if it's in forbearance or deferment, it could possibly be pardoned, so to speak, but
Right.
Student loan debt does count as debt when you're buying a home.
Absolutely.
Okay. Do you have a lot of retired clients? I want to sell my properties in Mississippi and move to Florida with my kids.
Okay, well, congratulations on getting ready to move to Florida.
Uh-huh.
By the way, I can help you with that. I can set you up with a top agent in Florida that will be able to guide you through the process. Currently we have over 5,000 people in our database that have raised their hands to say they're interested in buying a property. So I don't know the exact makeup of that database, but with over 5,000 potential buyers, I'm sure we can get your homes.
Yes,
Sounds
properties.
like you have multiple properties. I'm sure we can get those sold. Just contact us after the show or something, and we'll be glad to talk to you.
Great. Got some hellos over here. Amika, I've never seen this name before. Amikiko Clay, hello. Clarice Harris, and Sandy and John Carter. Hello,
Hi.
you all.
Thanks for joining us.
Yes. Okay, Lee, what do you think about reverse mortgages, and is the sale worth more?
Reverse mortgages. There's a place for reverse mortgages, and if you're thinking, do I want to take a reverse mortgage out or sell my property? The real question is, do you want to stay in the property? If you want to stay in the property, then the reverse mortgage is a good option if you need the monthly income to make ends meet or to live the lifestyle that you're accustomed to. Mm-hmm. Just remember, on the reverse mortgage, at the end of that term, the house is no longer yours. Whatever you're using the equity in your house, and you're taking that out in monthly payments. So it's sort of like retirement, like a retirement fund, except it's coming out of the equity of your property. I would consult with your CPA, maybe an estate planner, and I would consult with your family members if they're going to be part of that decision and possibly an heir of the property one day.
Great advice. Thank you. All right. So most of the next questions are about your marketing and how that affects a seller.
Fun.
So, okay. And they ask, is it my agent's responsibility to advertise my property?
It depends. If you're, there are different types of agencies, different types of real estate marketing platforms out there. Some brokerages, agents will charge you a lesser commission provided that you pay for all of the marketing. The problem with that is it's kind of a shotgun approach. It's not a very direct approach in being able to effectively market a property.
Mm-hmm.
And so the types of marketing that needs to be done on a property, you need to have a system in place, because if you have a system, you're sure to cover all bases. If you're not accustomed to marketing, then you may miss something, and you want to cover as many bases as possible. What was the follow-up to that question, Kelly?
They asked, do all real estate companies market homes the same way?
And the answer to that is no. Some real estate companies will put your property in MLS, the multiple listing service, so the 2,000 other agents in our Jackson metro market will have access to it. Through that, it is syndicated out to multiple websites. They'll put a sign in the yard and they'll hope that it sells. Other agents may put it in the newspaper or put it in a home magazine. Some agents may put it online. They may have a professional photographer come in. We do a combination. We want to touch as many people as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're marketing a property, it's all about exposure. You could have something for sale that's a great price, but no one knows it's for sale unless you market it.
Mm-hmm.
So marketing is critical. We believe that you need to be on the first page of Google, first page of Bing. You need to have quality photos.
Definitely.
You need to, we actually advertise on billboards and radio, places like that, because what we know is we want our website and our brand to be out there, because if our brand is out there, people will come to us, and as they come to us, they'll be able to see your property
Mm-hmm.
online, and or we'll be able to tell them about your property. And the more eyeballs, the higher the price, the more likely it's going to sell.
Right, and just simply putting a sign in your yard is only going to get that traffic that goes in
Up and
front
down
of
your street.
Yeah.
So if you live on a busy street, I-55, you've probably, a sign in the yard will work.
Right. Okay. Jessica Chun asked, do you have tips for first-time home buyers?
Absolutely. First-time home buyers is actually one of my favorite clients, because I still remember the day when I bought my first house. I was 22 years old, did not have a clue what I was doing. And an agent sat down with me and walked me through the process. And so the tips for first-time home buyers, first thing, go to a mortgage company and get qualified. Find out what you qualify for. The worst thing that could ever happen is you go out and you start looking at houses, you find one you love, and then you get heartbroken because
Mm-hmm.
you can't afford that house, and then no other house you look at will ever compare, and it's frustrating. So first thing is to contact a mortgage company, get qualified for a home, then talk to a real estate agent and describe to them what type of home and area you're looking for. Things to consider in areas, do you need a place that's close to school or work? Do you need do you like to water ski, or do you like to shop? How far do you want to be from those things? As a first-time home buyer, you also want to get a home inspection. You want to make sure you're not buying a money pit. You want to make sure your investment is well protected. So home inspection is critical.
You've told stories about that on some of your past episodes.
Yes, absolutely. And termite inspections are critical. You'll want to make sure you, as a first-time home buyer, that you get a termite inspection on the property. I can remember an ad I saw years ago, and it said the only thing that was holding the house together were the termites holding hands. So that's a big deal. So be careful when you're buying. I would consult a professional mortgage company and a professional real estate agent to help you through the process.
All right, and that pre-qualification is very important to be able to know what your budget is when you're buying a house.
Absolutely.
Okay. Ramona Spadoni would like to know, this is probably a referral, who are the best lenders for the lowest interest rates? And Jessica Chun says, good question, she wants to know as well.
Okay, so I get nothing out of this, but I will tell you that over the last 20 years, I've sent a lot of my business and personal business to a gentleman named Marcus Casano at Renaissance Bank. I know my other mortgage lenders, if they're listening, they're probably throwing tomatoes at me.
They'll be upset with you right now.
So they're, Richard Burkhart at Trustmark is a wonderful lender. The key is when you're looking for a lender, you're looking for someone that is going to spend the time with you, answer your questions, and guide you through the process. So if you want to talk more about this, contact me after the show, and I'll be glad guide you through the process.
Right, because it also could depend on where they live too, and maybe what's more local to them. And
There's different types of mortgages. If you were going to do a 203K loan or a rehab loan, then there would be a different lender that I would recommend for that. So it just depends on your situation.
Okay, back to questions from our Ask the Experts page. What are some red flags a home seller should look out for that could get them trapped in an ineffective marketing plan?
Well, the first question that a person would ask an agent is, how long is your contract? Because if you're in a contract that ties you down for a year and the agent's marketing is not effective, then your house will get what we call shelf worn. You've seen the same car or the same house on the market for months and months at a time. Then people start thinking, what's wrong with this property? And ineffective marketing could cause a house to be shelf worn and create a stigma on the property, which may cause you to wind up selling it for less, not selling it at all, and or spending more money if the property is vacant. The longer it sits vacant, the faster it deteriorates, and you may spend more money that way.
So that's a red flag if you see a realtor that when you're selecting a realtor, if they have properties that have been listed for a long time, that their marketing is probably not the best.
Could very well be.
All right. And so you may have actually answered the next question. It was, what is a smart question to ask a realtor about how they plan to sell my home? Or there might be a little bit of a difference there.
So a smart question to ask a realtor on how they plan to sell a home is, do they have a plan? What is their marketing plan? Some agents fly by the seat of their pants. And
oh no.
Oh no is right, because you need to have a system in place. There needs to be a marketing system in place. And we believe that everyone deserves the same marketing. So when you list your property with us, we go through the same process of marketing every time. Other agents are more a la carte, and they'll say, well, you've got a $100,000 house and I'm going to do this. You have a $300,000 house, I'm going to do this. Or you have $1 million house and I'm going to do this. Our belief is
you get a billboard.
Yeah. if we are consistent in our marketing, we're less likely to make mistakes. And I think the public appreciates being treated fairly and getting the same service.
Okay.
What was the rest of that question?
Just
smart
a smart
questions
question
to ask. What is your marketing plan? How long is your contract? How many houses have you sold?
Good one.
And that's probably a question for the real estate agent themselves is, how many houses have you sold?
Just like when you hire an attorney, you want to know what their win rate is.
Do you specialize in this area? And what network of people do you have available to buy the property? I mentioned earlier we have over 5,000 people in our database that have raised their hands wanting to buy a house. Now, what I know is not all 5,000 of those people will buy a house, but that's a lot of people that have said, hey, if the right deal comes along, I'm in.
Okay, good. All right, and what type of advertising do you do? I've seen your billboards everywhere.
Yes, I have 11 billboards around town.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's good or bad.
Well, I think it's good for your clients because you're not only advertising your company, like you said, if they find you, then they find the listed homes of your clients as well.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happens with the billboards. We use billboards in order to generate interest into our company, our brand, and generate interest to our website. When people come to our website, we have your property there with high definition photos, virtual tours, videos, descriptions of the property, bedrooms, baths, where the school districts are, everything that you can imagine is on that site. So when the consumer, if we can drive a consumer there and they find your property, it's that you're more likely to get your house sold. Other marketing things that I do is radio. And through radio, we drive traffic to our websites. And I spend several $1,000s a month being on the first page of Google. I also spend a lot of money being on the first page of Bing. That's the other search engine out there.
Mm-hmm.
I do virtual tours. I spend money with Zillow. Everybody knows who Zillow is.
Right. There's even a question here about Zillow today.
And so I spend a lot of money with Zillow. I'm actually a premier agent with Zillow, which not everyone has that title. You have to prove yourself with Zillow to be a premier agent. And Zillow is actually one of the top 3 searched websites in the world for real estate.
Mm-hmm.
So-
Anytime you look for homes in a certain area, Zillow always pops up.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we feel it's important to be there. Just because you have your home listed and it appears on Zillow doesn't mean your agent put it there, and or your agent is going to be the one that is contacted, because as agents we're able to buy advertising on
Mm-hmm.
Zillow, and it may not be the listing agent you're contacting when you reach out to an agent on Zillow. Just because you see 123 Main Street for sale, you may get an agent who does not have that listing to talk to on that because they pay for advertising there.
Okay. Good to know.
There's tons more of advertising we do. We
Which
would go over our time frame if we continued.
okay.
If we
But
would.
that's really good for your clients, because then lots of people have access to their listing. That's good.
Yes.
Okay. And Ramona Spadoni also asks now, how can I get in touch with you, sir, in case you're, your number was just up on the screen. So if you want to give that to
So
Ms.
thank you for the
Spadoni.
question, Ramona. It's actually, I believe my site is tagged in this post as well. I think you'll see Lee Garland, ReMax Alliance, 601-983-1130. That's my direct number. That's the number to my office. You can email me at lee@leegarland.com. Can't believe I just gave that out over Facebook. And but I'd love to work with you, Ramona.
and on WLBT.com.
Yeah, WLBT.
And Roku TV and Amazon Fire. You just gave
Oh,
that email.
wow. No robocalls, please.
Okay. Sharon Shoto asks, first-time home buyer with not so good credit, can I qualify for a USDA, or is that a lender question?
That is going to depend on it's going to depend on your credit score. USDA is going to have a minimum credit score. If your credit score is 580 or higher, I would encourage you to contact a USDA qualified lender.
Okay. Let's see. You advertise the guarantee sell a lot, which is, if you didn't know, LeeWillBuyIt.com. That's
Yes.
the one I see all over the place.
LeeWillBuyIt.com.
Yeah, LeeWillBuyIt.com. They say, isn't that message for sellers? How does that attract buyers?
Okay, let's go back to the billboards.
Okay.
The billboards the billboards bring people to our website. So when we advertise Lee Will Buy It or the guaranteed sale, a lot of buyers think that, well, that's not working for me. But actually it is, because the reason it's working is it just brings people to our website. And the
Right.
truth is, every seller, just about every seller is a buyer. They're moving somewhere. They're not selling their house to be homeless.
Right.
So if
Going somewhere.
we're soliciting a seller's business, they're going somewhere, and we'd like to help them on that end.
Yeah, so that probably solves the challenge. They don't want to be owning 2 homes. They want to
Yes.
live in one and get rid of the other.
Absolutely, and that's one of the reasons why we offer the guaranteed sale is if you're looking to buy a home,
Mm-hmm.
you may not be able to make an offer on that home that's acceptable to the other seller unless they know that your home is already sold, or there's a guarantee that there's a contract on your home currently. So we relieve that stress factor with our guaranteed sale.
What's the guaranteed sell time frame, or does it vary?
We have a standard time frame for our guaranteed sale. It's on the 181st day. If we haven't sold it, we buy it. If you choose to opt into that program, however, we will look at it on a case-by-case basis.
Okay. All right. Lee, do you only advertise locally? Someone's interested in you advertising their home, I think.
No, actually, I do not only advertise locally. I spend a lot of money advertising locally to attract buyers and sellers, and especially buyers. We generate hundreds of leads a month, buyer leads a month. But we do not just do local advertising. We actually, through our affiliation with ReMax, we're able to advertise globally, worldwide. We have a huge reach across the globe. And we also, I'm members of mastermind groups, and matter of fact, I'm a member of a group called Rate Mastermind, where it's the top 1%. I'm networked with the top 1% of agents in each metro market across the United States and Canada. We meet and talk on a regular basis, and therefore we share your property. If you list with us, we share your property and information about your property amongst our group.
Yeah, because it's not only the locals that may be looking to buy, people are looking to move to the great state of Mississippi.
Yes, we've got thousands upon thousands of people in our network. And again, ReMax is in more countries than any other real estate brand out there.
Okay, I didn't know that actually.
Yeah.
Cool.
We sell
Okay.
more real estate in the world, sell more real estate than anybody in the world. It's a fact.
Wow, okay. Ms. Spadoni says she's got your information. Thanks for being here, she says.
Thank you.
All right, I said that there was a question about Zillow. Here it is. How has Zillow changed the way you market homes?
Zillow has changed the industry in a big fashion. Zillow, we thought Zillow was going to make it easier for us as agents, and to an extent, it's actually made it harder.
Wow, okay.
Because there's so much information out there, and then Zillow has their zestimates,
Right.
their opinions of value on a property, and
Can vastly differ from a
Yes.
actual appraisal,
Yes.
right?
The actual owner of Zillow had a zestimate done on his property, and it was off by several $100,000. So it's interesting how Zillow has changed our marketing. We feel like Zillow itself is a good thing, and a lot of my peers will say, I cannot believe you just said that, because a lot of my peers feel like Zillow is the enemy.
Oh, no.
But Zillow has great exposure for our clients. We are a premier agent on Zillow, and because of Zillow and our use of Zillow, we're able to reach more people on behalf of our buyers and sellers.
Okay. How long is a typical listing agreement?
Good question. It depends on the company you're listed with.
Okay.
Some companies, and there's a couple of things that you need to know there. Some companies, their listing agreement is for 90 days. Others 180. Others 365. Some companies will charge you to cancel their agreement, and so. We've got a very unique thing at our moving on team. Our listing agreement says that if we're not doing our job, you can fire us at any time without charge. So although we do a 180-day listing agreement with you, the truth is it's a day-by-day agreement, because if we're not doing our job, we deserve to be fired, fire us. But there's no standard listing term with a company. You just need to check with that specific company directly.
Okay. All right. Why spend all that money if my home will sell anyway?
You know, there's been times where I've gone into a home and the seller, they were in a neighborhood, a location where the home was going to sell quickly.
Prime location.
In prime location.
Uh-huh.
And I've literally told a seller, said, you know what, you don't need me for the marketing aspect of this home. But what you do need me for is the negotiations and walking you through the steps of selling your home. And if they were experienced, sometimes I'll just say, hey, sell it yourself. That may be the best thing for you. But we spend a lot of money marketing because, statistically speaking, we averaged getting our sellers 0.7% more money than the average agent did across the Jackson Metro, the Central Mississippi MLS.
And that's agent, so not being an agent, you're going to sell even less than that 0.7
Right.
probably.
97% of all home sellers go through an agent.
Okay.
97%. So you might be the lucky 3%. And I've encouraged people to do that before if it was in their best interest. But there's a navigation process through getting a home sold, and that's why you really want to spend the money listing your house with an agent. Is you want somebody to navigate you through the process, make sure you're not taken advantage of.
Right.
You've crossed all the T's, dotted all the I's, and that you're protected.
Right. Because even an attorney's present, like at a closing, right? It's a big deal.
Most of the time, an attorney in Mississippi, most of the time we go to an attorney to close a real estate transaction. There are some that are done remotely with I forgot what they're called. Notaries.
Oh, notaries.
Notaries sometimes can, but an attorney did prepare the paperwork. The notary just finished it. Attorneys, and ironically, attorneys in Mississippi, for across the board, they represent the real estate transaction, the contract.
Right.
They don't represent the buyer or the seller.
Right.
So you hire the agent to represent your interest. The attorney just represents the contract.
Right. So that was my point of bringing that up, is why another reason you might not want to try to be that lucky 3%.
That's right. Because the attorney is not there to take sides. They're there to do what's on the paper that you drew up with the other party.
Okay. And speaking of having an agent represent you, give everyone your contact information again, Lee.
Okay. Well, since I've already given my email address out to the world, and it's lee@leegarland.com. lee@leegarland.com. Telephone number 601-983-1130. Or you can find me at leewillbuyit.com. leewillbuyit.com. Or you can come back to this page, and I think I'm tagged in it.
Right here on Facebook, or if you have questions for Lee, you can certainly go to our Ask the Experts page on WLBT.com.
Or look for the billboards.
Yeah.
Yeah, 11 of them.
Right, and then you won't have to wait till the next episode with Lee, which will be August 21st. He'll be back here live with us in the hub to answer your real estate questions, more of them.
Hey, Kelly, I got one more thing I want to add.
Sure, go ahead.
I don't know if there's any little big town fans out there, but here in the next 48 hours, we're going to put up a post on our Facebook page, and we're going to be giving away tickets to Little Big Town, which is August 15th.
Oh, you're just now telling me this.
Yes.
We could have started with that in the post. So the page that's actually tagged in the post that's live on Facebook right now, they can go to that page.
The Lee Garland ReMax Alliance Facebook page.
Okay, so if you like Little Big Town, click and go for it. But you said it won't be posted for another 24 to 48
It'll
hours.
go up within the next 48 hours.
Okay, well, be on the lookout for that if you're a fan. Thank you for being here today.
Oh, it's been fun.
All right, if you have more questions for Lee, contact him or send them for the next episode to the Ask the Experts page on WLBT.com. We will be in the hub with Maggio Thompson tomorrow. On that site, you can also see our live schedule, past episodes. Send in your questions. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your questions. I'm Kelly Boyd. This has been WLBT's Ask the Experts.